I'm here with Perry Johnson at Joni Ernst Roast and Ride here in Des Moines. Now, you said you were going to dust off your motorcycle. I got to know where it is.
My motorcycle is back home. My wife actually thought I was nuts. She said, "You made a deal with me." I said, "Oh, I forgot the deal." So, because I've been riding for a lot of years, I was in a major spill at one point. Yeah, in fact, I was going like 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, hit a chuck hole, and then just literally flipped over.
And so you made a deal with your wife, and that...
Said, yeah, no more riding. So
you're abiding by the wife's rules today.
Well, that doesn't mean I would never ride, but this was a long trip.
Yes, it is. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the debt ceiling conversation that's happening right now. You have a huge 2%, 2 cent deal, right, that you have been talking about on this campaign trail. So I want to know your initial reactions to this deal that they just voted on.
I think it's horrible. Bottom line is, we just spent a record amount of money in 6 years. In fact, we are now $12 trillion more in debt than we were when Trump took office. And now, every American, every family is spending $612 a month just in the interest on the debt. And now they want to increase it more. They said the reason that we needed all this money is because of COVID. COVID isn't here anymore. Shouldn't they go back to where we were 5-6 years ago and say, that's our starting point? No, they would have spent 1% more, even though we set a record for spending. Keep in mind, when we do this, it means we endanger Social Security, Medicare, and the national defense. Every single economy in the world, every major power in the world has gone under because of the economy. Rome ruled for 1,000 years. What happened? Suddenly they couldn't pay their troops. The Soviet Union, this powerful country, suddenly went down and the wall came down because they couldn't keep up with the arms race. We're in a position now where we have to borrow from China. China, we give them $74 million a year, a day, just in interest payments because we didn't have enough money to fund our own economy. Now something's wrong here when you consider that China's economy in 1998 was at $1,077 billion. Now it is at $20 trillion. We're only at $25 trillion. At one point we were 800 to 900% larger than they. Now we're at a point where they're going to pass us up in 10, 12 years if we keep this up.
Now, one thing we've been talking about with this deal is also the student loans being pushed back for another couple months. And I know that there's been conversation around the borrowers being concerned that they're going to open the floodgates and these companies won't be able to keep up with all of these borrowers now paying back. What are your thoughts on that?
Borrowers paying back. When you borrow money, you have to pay it back. We've never addressed the real problem. The problem is that tuition has gone through the roof. And it's gone through the roof because the government got involved in 1966, guaranteeing all loans. And can you imagine, you're 17 years old, you have no idea what it's like to pay back a loan. And now you're going to borrow. You borrow whatever you want, not realizing the impact. Nothing has gone up more than college tuition, nothing. My son goes to Michigan State University. The cost to go to Michigan State in 1979 was $25 a credit hour. If it had gone up at the rate of inflation, it would be $100. But it's not. It's $505 a credit hour. Why? Because this floodgate of money has gone to all these colleges since the kids were borrowing all this money. And that's because of the government. I think we need a smaller government. Every time the government seems to get involved, they mess it up. It's always more expensive, everything else. I'm not saying we don't have student loans. I'm saying that we set up a program with the colleges where they do the same thing the government does. They have to freeze their spending and show that they are coming down a certain percent every year. I say 2% a year that they reduce their costs or they don't qualify for any kind of student loan program. In addition to that, when somebody goes and gets a degree, we should have an idea of how much you're going to make. You go to school, you get a degree in philosophy. What are you going to do? Say, hey, I'm going to philosophize for you because I'm really good. I think that went out with the time of Aristotle. So bottom line is, when you go to college, you have to have a goal afterwards that says, okay, as a result of this training, I'm going to have a better life for myself and my family.
Okay, one more question before I let you go, because I know you got to take the stage soon. There are a couple people who are taking Bitcoin now as donations, including Vivek and Kennedy. Would that be something you would consider?
Yes, I would probably take anything in a donation. I'd take 2 cents, because the key here right now is that you need to get 40,000 donors to get on the debate stage, even though I'm self-funding. Yes, I admit I have a lot of money. I don't dispute that. And I have 87 companies in 61 countries. But the bottom line is that we need 40,000 donors even when we're self-funding. And I found out that rule yesterday when a sheet of paper hit me. So it doesn't even matter how much money you have. You could be willing to spend $100 or $200 million. It's irrelevant, because you have to get 40,000 people donating. I say, all I know is 2 cents. Donate 2 cents to me. That's all I ask.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Perry. Appreciate it.